Hello and welcome to Deep Dive Film School. I'm Adam Sherlock.
And I'm Adam Pulcher.
And if you like what you see/hear, please like and subscribe. You can find us in all the spaces and places that people what?
Find good media. That's right. Our most popular platforms are Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So please join us there if you like what you see. All right. This week, we're going to get into that one scene from the 1986 Western comedy directed by John Landis, Three Amigos.
They don't make them like this anymore.
I honestly have that written down. I was like, they really don't make movies like this anymore, let alone a Western comedy, which you almost never see these days.
Yeah, it's like a Blazing Saddles
having
era.
Three of the funniest people in the world at the time in the mid 80s. Some of the biggest comedic stars all star in this one thing. Obviously written by Lorne, Micheals. Mm-hmm. So there was a Saturday Night Live connection there. Randy Newman also wrote some of this.
Yes,
along
with
was
he just like drinking at Lorne Micheals' house and was like,
be.
I've got some ideas too. Like, yeah.
And of course the one and only Steve Martin as well. He's been making me laugh my whole life.
Same.
And this movie is very much included in that filmography.
Yeah, and it is funny. It's like you think about, like, there was a handful of them in the 90s movies that had that sort of like SNL's like cast. But they didn't really do a lot of like spin-offs of any of the characters that any of these guys did on Saturday Night Live. Yeah. Instead, there are these like really amazing original kind of something like this or something like Ghostbusters where you're just like, it was this wholly created universe, whereas there isn't quite as much of that in the 90s. Like, I guess you could say like Tommy Boy is an original idea. Like, there's a handful of them.
Happy Gilmore. Mm-hmm.
Right, but it was more so in the 80s that you really saw like what is this movie? Like, the premise of it is kind of bonkers, right?
It's amazing. It's the classic comedy setup.
Yeah.
Right? There's all this misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. Carmen at the beginning sees her first movie ever.
Yeah.
And thinks it's real.
It's a documentary.
It's like these guys just saved this town. Yeah. And
while singing and dancing.
And she writes this nice long telegraph, but only has money for half of it, so they edit it down, and they get it right after getting kicked off of Goldsmith Pictures. But
and they're pretty, as this like singing, dancing troupe of entertainers, they're washed up at this point. Like, I love the character of Ned, Martin Short's character,
Ned Niederlander.
Yeah, because he's like
Dusty Bottoms, Chevy Chase,
yes,
and then Lucky Day,
and Ned,
Steve Martin.
Through this whole thing, really, even though he's an adult, and Martin Short is just great at doing this anyway, of sort of playing like a child man.
Totally.
Right? And it's like he grew up in Hollywood, he grew up as a child actor, and he's not anymore, but everybody still kind of treats him like he's a little kid.
He's a slight man.
Yeah.
And he's short.
Yeah.
And his last name is Short.
Yep.
So there's that, but he's one of the funniest people on the planet.
Oh my God.
This dude can riff, especially these days, he can riff with the best of them. Of course, Steve Martin and him still work together in Only Murders in the Building, and amongst other things. They're still good friends.
In one of the recent interviews in the I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not documentary, he laments that Only Murders in the Building isn't good because he's not in it, because it should be the Three Amigos again. And I'm like, take a pause. Think about what that might mean for you as a human being, but he can't do that. So, but we're not here to lament that, because this is in the prime time of Chevy Chase when he was still like
famous for
so charming and hilarious effortlessly, right?
For sure.
You could kiss me on the veranda. Well, the lips are fine. Like, it's just, he has these amazing lines, and he's just an idiot.
The writing's great. I mean, all three of these guys are wonderful idiots.
Yep.
And one thing I learned from this scene was being stupid can take you a long way, but not all the way.
That's a great,
right?
It's a bumper sticker right there waiting to happen.
And like I said, the mixture of misinformation, them getting this telegram that's kind of edited, and then thinking it's a job for 100,000 pesos, to Santa Poco.
They also, it seems like they don't really understand how much a peso is, because they're like 100,000, and you're like, is that like $72? Like, how much money is that? Right? Like, it's not that much money, I don't think.
But hilarious. They just got kicked out, and they ride down there and get to Santa Poco and get to the scene where previously in the movie they had El Guapo's men came and kind of took over the town, and
Yeah.
they arrived and did their first show.
Yeah.
And of course, the whole time, again, misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Also,
and these guys, those couple of like henchmen are like, oh shit, these dudes are like
they run off and
badasses.
tell
like,
El
yeah,
Guapo.
yeah.
But part of this is their own self-indulgence of like, oh yeah, of course we have our next jobs right here.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah.
And hijinks ensue. But at this point of the movie, they have run those guys off. They've been there a couple days. They know the people. They know the town now a little more. And they've kind of fell in love with it a little bit. So it's kind of sweet.
It is kind of sweet. And again, to go back to this character I can't get over of Ned, where he's sitting on the stoop with all the children telling them about this woman in Hollywood that told him when he was a little boy, he's got it. He's got what it takes. And he's like, right?
It's probably a real story.
Yeah.
And this lady's been dead for 20 years.
Right. And that's just a thing that like, yeah. And like, here's all these little kids who don't speak English that are just like sitting there because he's just this weird guy. But he's like, it's a true story.
Yeah.
It really happened. So I just love that little
The
bit.
beginning of this scene opens up with the three of them in bed together, with
the room too close to the bell tower.
Yeah. They're like, next time let's get a different room.
Yeah. I love
Like,
that
there's
they're
so
in
many
matching
choices.
pajamas. There are these like incredibly innocent, childlike, stupid things about them.
And
that-
Chevy Chase is in the middle too, not on the end where you think Martin Short would be in the middle. Perfect. So good. And they wake up, they see El Guapo's men coming, they tell him, they're like, all right, we'll get ready.
yeah, got another show, I guess. Like,
All right, let's get this over with.
yeah.
Anyways, just plays into their innocence, but it's just the perfect setup.
Yep.
They don't realize what's happening is real, that this lady their town actually needs help.
Is actually in danger from these bandits. Yeah.
Just brilliant stuff.
Well, and in this
were you
moment-
glad we revisited this scene?
Oh,
Because I
God,
know
yes.
there's a bunch of scenes in this whole movie.
There are, but you're right that this one is so good because it is the turning point in the film. And what I never really thought of before, even though like obviously someone is going to be like, well, no shit, Sherlock, which, hey, fair enough.
Yeah.
But
the first person to say that.
I don't think that it occurred to me how much that Galaxy Quest is a riff on this exact same plot.
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
Where it's like, I mean, granted, in Galaxy Quest, they do realize that they are in an actual spaceship, but I think that the concept of sort of like, oh, we thought you were real heroes, and then when the actual danger shows up, you turn into a bunch of cowards. It was in that moment that I was like, oh yeah, these are like the same movie. Not to take anything away from Galaxy Quest, which is amazing.
Great movie.
But we got to talk for just a second about...
My little butter.
Well, no, before that, Alfonso Arau, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, who plays El Guapo, who also plays such a fantastic character in Romancing the Stone, that we remember, as the John Wilder? You're John Wilder! Like, he's just like, even though it's really these two movies, he went on to do other stuff in the 90s and a lot more serious roles, but holy cow, man, does this actor to me just represent so many summer days of sitting in front of the VCR watching movies I love. He just has this face and he's very funny,
Memorable.
In fact, the whole crew, him and his couple of henchmen that appear throughout most of this movie. Jefe is an incredible character. Like, they're just very, very funny as the bad guys. Because watching this, I was like, you could have had the bad guy be like scary.
It's
and
true.
it still would have worked, but it's so much better that it's him.
funny to think about Mexican representation in Hollywood back in the 80s, especially mid-80s, where actually there's a lot of Latino and Mexican people in this movie. Other than these three guys, it's mostly that, right? Other than Joe Mantegna and Phil Hartman
That's right.
at the beginning,
Yeah.
and John Lovitz, and a few other people, that come in and out, the German guy.
Yeah.
But overall, it's people you've never seen before, probably locals, and they all do an amazing job. But, of course, 85% of this movie takes place in Mexico, and they all speak English.
Yeah, perfectly. Yes, which is
so,
its own interesting.
Yeah. So like I said, representation was kind of there, but not all the way.
Well, and better than I think a lot of movies in the 80s, which end up being like a lot of like, Italian guys pretending to be Mexicans,
Sure.
right? This whole sequence with the real bullets part.
Yeah, let's get into them coming out and start performing, and they start doing their act and running around.
It's an honor to work with you. He's like,
you dirt-eating piece of slime, you scum-sucking pig, you son of a motherless goat.
Yeah.
So good.
And what is he? He says, tell us we'll die like dogs. He feeds him a line, right? And he's like,
I like these guys.
Only kill one of them. Yeah, it's so good, man.
And then he shoots him and bam, gets Steve Martin. And you're like, oh shit, did they just kill one of these guys?
Yeah. And then, when he stands up and he shows them the blood and marches over.
He's like, ah. It's like, wait a minute.
He marches over just as
let me see that.
Yeah, indignant as ever. I'm keeping this. You're in big trouble, mister.
Great. Real bullets.
Just working with amateurs, right?
No one gave him this guy blanks. They never even question where the cameras are.
No, that's a really good point. They never question where the cameras are.
And maybe it's a show where it's more of like
For the Village or something.
So maybe that's not a thing. But if it is a movie, then where are the cameras?
The idea of saying, you're in big trouble, mister. And then he does this amazing thing where he touches his jacket, right? And I can only imagine for that character of Lucky that he's like, oh, this doesn't feel like wardrobe, right? This is a real leather duster that this guy has on, right?
It's making me laugh.
Yeah, and then he suddenly is like, excuse me a minute.
He gets that realization of oh fuck.
Excuse me a minute. And then just saunters back over. And the next moment is probably the funniest of this whole scene.
It's why I wanted to do the scene.
It's real. And they're all immediately they're all
just
weeping like children. And Ned goes, we're not even gonna get paid.
I've already been shot.
I've already been shot. We're not even going to get paid.
And then my favorite line, I'm going to go talk to him man to man.
Yeah. The open weeping of three grown men is so brilliant.
It's the part that gets me, the whole realization of him getting mad at the props crew and all this shit. It's the build up to that payoff where
it's
all
real.
Of them
It's real.
El Guapo is just I don't even know what to do with these guys.
Yeah,
it's so good.
And then they do the My Little Buttercup to show that they are in no way a threat, right? And it's great. It's hilarious. And
it is. He vows revenge, of course, on the town for them.
And then immediately blows up a fucking church.
Hiring, well, the whole town, they light it on fire. But it's they went behind his back and tried to get someone to stop him.
Right.
That's why he does it. But such a brilliant scene. I can't get enough of it.
And then they steal
steal
the El Guapo steals the girl.
That's right. Carmen gets
stolen. And they take off. And then I was like, when they come back through the town, I'm like, why'd you guys come back? You ran away. Why'd you come back? And then you realize that part of the reason they come back is because Dusty needs his cufflinks. Right? Is there a pair of pearl cufflinks maybe up in the room? Right? And they've just had their daughter stolen.
Have nothing here.
And then it's great because, even in this incredibly silly and oftentimes very surreal and strange movie, Ned has this amazing moment of growth where he takes a stand, right? And he's are we mice or men kind of a thing. And it's really great. And it's actually very sweet. And he gives this little speech and they decide that they're going to go after him. And this is where the scene for our analysis ends. But I got to tack this on because it happens right after.
The bat eating scene.
The bat eating scene, because all of a sudden, everything, and here's the thing that's so weird to me about this, or why I love it so much, is that everything up to this point, the movie's been real. When we're in Hollywood, it's really Hollywood. When they travel to Mexico, they're really in Mexico, right? Even though funny things are happening and goofy things are happening, it's all still real. And now they are obviously on a set the size of this room that we're in right now with a painted backdrop with a fake fire, nothing in
an
it
old
is,
Western.
Yeah. And nothing in it is real. And they're eating medium rare bad.
Crispy bad.
And
just choking
it down. And he starts playing a song because Ned's too scared to go to sleep because he's never slept outside before. And it goes into this musical number And immediately these like coyotes and like a rabbit, they all come out. And then the horses start boo, 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 boo with animated mouths. And it's the silliest and funniest little interlude.
So random, but
it's so random.
Perfect.
And then at the very end, the turtle goes, "Good night, Ned."
Good night, Ned.
Yeah.
And then, later we have the singing tree, which is also
Right.
the invisible man and all of that.
And that starts to get weird again.
It does start just going to this,
but I remember,
maybe they took peyote or something.
I think so, because like, as a kid, when it got to that part, I was like, what? The horses can sing? And then it like never comes back again. And I'm like,
nah,
was that what Randy Newman added? Like, was Randy like... just like took a tab of acid and was like, hold on.
He is the singing tree, I think.
I've got an idea. Yeah,
he is the singing tree.
There you go. That explains it.
Anyways, just one I've been preaching for us to do forever, just because it's a fun rewatch.
Oh, so
if you
good.
haven't seen this movie, please go watch it, especially if you love those guys.
And if you haven't seen it in a while, it is like...
it holds up.
It's an innocent, lovely... laugh riot. Like it really is.
A family movie.
Oh my God.
I love this. I was 6-7 years old, so I was primed for this movie
100%.
when it came out. So I absolutely love this one. But all right, next week we're gonna continue our Chamber Peace Festival with Duncan Jones' Moon from 2009. So join us for that, and then we'll have more of that one scenes coming up. But thanks for joining us, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube if you like what you see.
Bye, you guys.
Thanks.